Hello, hello.
Sweet.
Recording.
Alright. Let's go. Let's have a conversation. You can hear that beautiful sound, can't you? Wonderful birds in the area. Let's finish off this Romeo and Juliet. How does the camera look? Is my face clearly displayed?
Yeah, looks good. I'd say it's like perfect, honestly.
Alright. So, some things to discuss. It's been 4 years, Isaac? Probably about 4 years. 4 years grinding on that work. Doing the work that you know you're supposed to do, you feel driven to do, that God's led me to do. What else is there? 4 years. It's been non-stop. There's been no holidays. Potential rest I've had, or of not working, 2 days. Went on one trip to the snow. It was all worth it, and it still is. I'll continue the work that needs to be done. Continue the work. I want to talk about what's kept me grounded through the whole thing. What's kept me going when there are times when you're just exhausted, or not even, just one little things that just keep the train just dunk, dunk, going along, chugging along, you know? What keeps you just moving? And that one thing is gratitude. I might stand here now on my high horse, sitting on a chair, smoking a cigar on this beautiful farm. And I'm grateful for this. You know, this doesn't come lightly. I'm completely grateful for all of this. But that gratitude is what has got me to the point I am now. I think a lot of people, or a lot of young men, because if I were to think back to myself, I wouldn't really imagine this. It's like so much you don't imagine. You know your end goal, you know, the cars, the house, the lifestyle, all that great stuff. But you can't really imagine, or I don't really imagine the points in between, the stepping stones that you're on, the 4 years in part, or the 3, whatever it is, in part. But gratitude is most definitely that one thing. Let me tell you more about gratitude. If I were not grateful, then I would forsake what has been given to me by God. And what has been given to me by God is people to help me get to the point where I want to get to. Because it's often people that keep your insanity and God that keeps you sane and keeps you in the right state of mind and the places you need to go to. Like, you want to be the whole package as a man. You don't want to just be that one guy with all the money. You don't want to just be the one guy that's just in shape but has got no money, he's a fucking bum. You don't want to just be that one guy that has God and nothing else. Although, out of all three, that would be the one to be, if you had to choose. All God and nothing else. For God comes first in all of this. And that is the pinpoint and a decision I made when I first started on this journey. It was the fear of the Lord that brought me to go to church and start this. I knew the journey that was ahead. I knew that I wanted to have a successful life. I knew that there was no do-overs. There's no do-overs. There's no, I'll wait till later. It's now. It's now or never. You have to, each day, now. Start now. And then move forward. Create some sort of plan, some sort of vision that you have. And go from there. So I started, once I'd left school and I had a bit of a head start, I had a school-based apprenticeship, so I had some sort of direction on something to do, a skill to build. I had a skill to build, it was great. You know, I finished school and I just knew that, like, all right, I really want to get this success thing right. There's no do-overs, it's now or never. I need to push through this. I've started an apprenticeship, I'm going to finish it. So that's what I did, I finished it. I'm about 6 months or 3 months, about 4 months since the finish date of my apprenticeship when I finalised it. And I worked for a subby. I worked as a subby for a bit of time. And now I'm retired. I'm no longer a carpenter. I've retired from that game. But it was the fear of the Lord that got me started on this journey and had me going to church each week and making sure I didn't neglect that side I knew that I had to fulfill, which is the purpose that the Lord will set out for you in the journey of your success as a man. And the fear of the Lord brought me there because I knew, it was weird. It was like I was scared that if I didn't do it with the Lord and become a successful man, in shape, big family, all these things that I desire and I'm going to have, if I didn't do it with the Lord, it would not be done in the right way. It was a weird thing. And it often talks in the Bible, fear nothing but the Lord. It talks about it, fear no man but the Lord. So that's what I did. And I turned up to church each week. I'm still growing in that sector. There's so much room for improvement in that area of my life. That is where it started though, each week. It was part of the routine. It was honestly the best part of the week, every week, grinding, you know. Monday, 8 hours, Monday night. So 8 hours of work Monday as a carpenter. Then that night, you go train jiu-jitsu, eat well, go to sleep. Tuesday to Friday, it's work 8 hours as a carpenter, work 4 hours as a bartender, go to sleep. Then Saturday, depending on the morning, I would go to jiu-jitsu in the morning at 10:30, then start at 12, or sometimes I would have to start at 10:30 at work as a bartender. And then I would go through to the end of the day or till about 4, have a little bit of a break, and then start again for the next night shift for Saturday night. So that's the whole week. And then Sunday, I would get the day of Sabbath, I'd get my day of rest, even though sometimes there would still be tasks to be done, like firewood or random tasks that my boss would need me to do and whatnot. But it was that Sunday that kept me sane through it all, and the gratitude throughout the week. Because it's only till this point now I was in this I guess group discussion or meeting, whatever you want to call it, with a fellow Christians that also have their own businesses. And the leader, John, he was talking about prayer and how important prayer is. And we even use this other guy for an example up in Sydney. He's like a CEO of a bunch of companies and whatnot. And he spends a whole day praying. And that was just mind-baffling for me. So I started praying more, and I can't lie, life's gotten better. Life has gotten better since praying more. It's funny how a little thing like prayer can make your life better. A little thing like going to church each Sunday. It's like, don't forsake that tiny period of time when you can just go to church and stay on the right track and not have to have this up and down roller coaster with God and coming in and out of his life. It can just be a consistent thing. And it should be a thing that grows, and that's what I'm aiming towards now. But the gratitude throughout the week is also what got me there. I would be sitting there doing something and I would just get a rush of gratitude and think, thank you, Lord, so much for where I'm at. Thank you for all the things that have happened to me in the past and things that are going to happen in the future. Thank you for this moment right now. Thank you that I'm here. Thank you for the people that you've brought in my life. Thank you for the people you've taken away from my life. The cutting the leaves. When you prune back a tree, when you prune them back, more like a head, you wouldn't prune a tree. Anyways, when you cut some of those leaves and new ones are to grow, you cut away the bad people in your life, you get rid of them. Look, the thing is with self-development is once you get on the road to being like, I want to be the best at this, I want to be great, I'm going to work out, I do this. The thing is throughout all this, I also kept a great body. Health is an important factor. Without a body that you're nourishing, you can't have a mind to be nourished. How's your mind going to be switched on right if you're not feeding it the right foods? You're going to say, oh, Drew, you're smoking. Yeah. One cigar. One cigar. But these are the treats that you're grateful for. Isaac loves it. Isaac loves me talking to you guys. What else is there? Gratitude got me through it, and it keeps me sane, keeps me going. Doesn't the sound of the birds just make you happy? Doesn't the sound of the birds just make you happy? What's more to life than the sound of birds? All you need is a multi-million-dollar house, 100-acre farm, and the sound of birds, and you'll be happy. I should leave this uncut, just so I can look back and laugh at myself for what I was saying. What else do I tell him, Isaac? Give me a subject to talk about. Any subject. Oh, dropped that. Discipline. Discipline. Define discipline.
Continuing to do something when you don't want to do it.
Doing something even though you want to don't. Committing to doing something and you don't want to do it. Staying consistent. I think you have to learn to enjoy the suffering. Because then the discipline becomes a joy for me. Would you agree with that? You have to enjoy the suffering, enjoy the pain. The flavour of life can be pain. There's many flavours of life. Pain is one of them. And to forsake pain and try and neglect it, have some fucking pills, drown your sorrow with drugs. This is where the young are so lost. Is that when they feel some sort of pain, they think it's a bad thing. Even though That's just the part of the human experience. This is actually a good topic to talk about because the human experience is what we all have. God granted you life, which is one of the most amazing things that could ever be given to you, is life. Most people are able-bodied. There's a lot of people probably out there that are without limbs or have health conditions. This is where the gratitude comes in. Being grateful that you have an able body. That's another part. So referring back to the great gratitude thing, be grateful that your body's completely able. How are you going to have an able body and not go and work out and give that body some more nourishment of muscles to be able to continue living till old age, you know? Because eventually you'll become more brittle and you'll slowly break down. But if you're to build yourself up more, you know, build the foundation at a young age, when it comes time to getting older, you'll be in a much better position. But the discipline thing, you have to enjoy the flavor. You have to look at everything you have, everything you get, everything that's given to you, all the different emotions as just part of being human, and that it will go away. So if you don't like it now, just know that it's going to go. This too shall pass. I was given this quote when I was about 15 by my mother. Bless her, she's an amazing woman. This too shall pass. That was something that she often would say in the household when I was young. A lot of things she said just stuck with me, internalized it. That's probably one of the things that got me through school. Knowing that it will pass, knowing that school would end. You're all stressed about it when you're young. Oh, school this, school that. You're thinking it's the end of the world. It's not. It's almost just a waste of time, but it isn't really. It's part of the journey. This too shall pass. Knowing that the feelings you have now will go away. Romans 8:18 says something on the lines of, the suffering you're feeling now is nothing in comparison to the glory that will be revealed into us. And that's the Holy Spirit. Which when you live with the Holy Spirit through your life and walk the earth with it, there's a sort of power to it. There's a sort of freedom that you feel. I'm just telling you based on what I feel, not what it says biblically. Forgive me if I'm incorrect on the biblical terms, but you walk through the earth with peace and you know that everything you do is going to be okay. When you know God is the one in control, you're going to be all right. And it's not in control of the way that if you just sit there fucking doing nothing, that something's going to happen. No. You have to visualize the future, have foresight to be able to prosper for the plans he has for you and the visions he'll give you, and then you move in that direction. The discipline thing. Waking up not wanting to go to work with sometimes the people you don't want to work with for those 5 days of the week that you're working. I think to just put one foot in step of the other. First, get out of bed. All right, you got out of bed. Next thing, go have a shower. All right, brush your teeth. All right, have a bit of food. All right, pack your bag. All right, next thing. It's all about just don't think about how you're going to be at work in like half an hour. Think about what you got to do right now. Be in the now. It's all about being in that moment. You might have the plan to finish the whole work. You plan, and you're going to be there. And once you get there, you're like, all right, I'm here now. I'm at work. What am I going to do? I'm going to put in the best effort I can. That's what you got to do. Once you're there, it's about just putting in as much effort as you can when you're there. And don't think about when you're finishing. I know we all do it. Look at our phones. Hopefully, like thinking about when time to clock off is and go to the next job. Try and be now. What's the task in the moment? This is something I've practiced and I'm getting better and better at. I'm not perfect, but I am getting there. I'm getting to that point where I can try and be in the now. And time just passes by. Time just clears by, and before you know it, the day is done. And you've completed a task that you needed to complete. You needed to go to work for that day shift, and then you needed to do that night shift. The beauty of having 2 jobs as well, when you're a hustler and you're trying to get through, and or maybe you have 1 job and you're able to work. Sometimes I wish I had 1 job and I was able to just work all in 1 job for 12 hours a day, and how much better that would be. But I was dealt a different hand, or I dealt myself a different hand, you could say, and I worked as a bartender at night. And this was great because I got to be around a whole group of different people. And your social life, people will tell you work-life balance and to be able to go out and have all your friends and whatever, yeah, sure. Maybe just move in with your fellow hustlers and your friends. And do what I do, move in with your boss. Why not? Why not? Move in with your mentor. Why not? Move in with your best friend. Then, look, because people worry about you moving with your best friend and then, you're around them all the time, then you get sick of each other. But it doesn't really happen that way, because if you're always working, you only see them sometimes anyways. So then you get your social life. For your best friend, you get to see them sometimes. But you also get your social life at work, because all you do is work. I've got to stay on the topic of discipline here, right? Just turn up when you don't want to be there. I feel like it's just more of a switch in your brain where you just say, I have to do this. There's no choice. You have to stop giving yourself choices of not turning up. Why would you not turn up? This one of doing it. I'm trying to understand why you wouldn't just turn up, because that's what I did. I just turned up every time. Turn up, turn up, turn up. And before you know it, you look around and your life's great. It's way better than it used to be. That's the whole point. Just keep improving your life. All I wanted to do as a kid is have a 2-story house. I couldn't. My mum had a bad back. It was never going to be good for her to walk up and down stairs. Understandable. But all I wanted to do is have a 2-story house. Because why would you live in a house with 1 story when you could have 2 stories? Make more room from the same square meterage. Why wouldn't you do that? So what happened? The first house I moved out into, 2-story. This is what I mean when I feel like God is in control. Because there's certain desires you have that it feels like He just gives them to you. Because He's nice. He's nice. And He has a lot of grace for all of us. Discipline. What's another topic to talk about, Isaac? Just trying to be not the happy thing, just trying to be happy. I've never understood this. Just trying to be happy. The goal is to be happy. As if you can't understand that being happy and the feeling of happiness is an emotion. We all have these emotions. There's like ranges of all these emotions: rage, happiness, love. What other emotions are there? Sadness, grieving. Excitement. Being numb. Numb's probably one of the most destructive things. You sit there and you feel nothing. That is an interesting one, because is that an emotion, to not feel anything? But the happy thing. How are you going to stand there and say, my goal is to be happy? How do you plan to just achieve happiness as a thing when it's an emotion that will come and go? How are you going to just be in this state of happiness? It's the pain that you feel to be able to know happiness. With no light, with no darkness, how are you going to know that there's light? You have to have both. This is why I love it, because I learned to enjoy the suffering. Because once I enjoy the suffering isn't as bad. And once the suffering's over, I know there's happiness and great and just joy, isn't there? There has to be a period and time through your life, over and over again, where you go through seasons of discomfort. You think, when I stand in the mirror and I do a flex, and I'm glad that how my body looks, even though I want it to look better, but I'm glad, that didn't just take me learning how to be happy with my body. No. I was once very insecure about how I looked. I did not like how I looked. I would look at myself and go, what is that? That's a person that could be easily dominated by any other man. Any other man could just come along and decimate me. Some women maybe when I was younger. That's disappointing. And then in that, knowing that, what do? You got to get stronger. You got to go to jiu-jitsu class. You got to go to some sort of mixed martial arts. You need to go to the gym to get muscles. That all took discomfort, time, which is one of the most valuable things us humans have is our own time. So it took time, a very expensive resource if you value yourself, which you should, I do. It took money to go to the gym, and it took discipline and pain in the action of doing all those things. You think it feels good to go to a jiu-jitsu class and get completely decimated by a bunch of men? No, it doesn't feel good. But you know it's what you must do, the discipline and the suffering you must do to be able to then, in the future, like I said, future there's happiness, whatever, now, right, you're in that position of pain. It took all that to be able to stand there in the mirror and go, yeah, I'm the man. I'm the man. So do not settle for being just happy, because that feeling will come and go. You'll get feelings of happiness. I find it to be more, whenever I'm very grateful in a moment, I just feel a rush of gratitude, and that's sort of how I would find my happiness, where I lie my happiness, is in the gratitude that I feel. But happiness is fleeting. It's going away. Much like your sadness is going away, and then you'll feel happy again. See, so don't look for the happiness. The happiness will come when you go through the suffering to be the person you want to be. Think about the greatest person you know, your biggest inspiration. Think about them, and then think about yourself. They say not to compare people, but it's very easy to do. When you do this, it's very easy to pinpoint what you should do. Right? Oh, I want to be more like that person. That you find different people that you want to be like. I don't like that about them, but I like this about them. What did it take for them to become that person? Lots of suffering. Lots and lots of suffering, lots and lots of patience. And sometimes I would think I'm an impatient person, but through waiting and not talking about things and just moving through them, that's patience. Even though you might feel like you want it to happen now. But if you just keep working towards it, being grateful, working towards it, that is patience. Doing the action, not having the instant result, not getting instant gratification, just doing the action. And then all of a sudden it's there. That was you being patient through that process to then be there. Have I covered happiness, do you think, Isaac?
Yeah.
I've covered it. I've covered the happiness thing and how you're doing yourself a disservice on trying to chasing the happiness. It's so funny, a lot of these things, the happiness thing, I'm not even around people that try and chase happiness anymore. I disassociate myself with them. I feel like God helps me with that mostly. They're all just disappeared out of my life, all those annoying people that just chase happiness. To just be happy, all right. If you just had happiness, you wouldn't feel whatever else there is to be human. Don't you want to feel, as a man, you should have felt the rage within inside of you. That is one of the most powerful things, to feel the rage. Man, I love it. Internalize and move forward through the work. Sometimes I've been bad and I've lashed out, raged out on objects. Not people. I contain myself from that point. But yeah, the rage is great. That's a great part of being a man. I don't think women feel that kind of rage that men feel. And if they do, unfortunately, they can't do much about it because it's just